Hello and welcome back to the Changing Earth podcast. This is episode number 317, season 10, episode 8. Hey, Chim, what's up?
Hey, chin's up, y'all.
Oh, man, happy to have you here with me. And, guys, we have special guest Butch with us today. Hello, Butch. How you doing?
Hello, Miss Sara and Mr. Chin.
Thank
for
you for being back on. We're excited to have you again.
Thanks for the invite. Always good to spend time with you.
Yeah, we got more plans for you. I let Chin take over this episode, but I got more stuff that I want to pick your brain about. So
absolutely,
we definitely have that show coming up. But Chin wanted to do a little bit of a techie show today, so we're gonna let Chin go wild. With Chin gone wild.
Yeah, Butch has a new project that really sounds interesting, so we'll pick his brain on it.
Yeah, right up Chin's alley. Like, who got me involved in communications? Because I was like, I don't want to communicate with anybody.
I shoved it down your throat.
You did.
Ordered a radio and had it drop ship to your door.
Yeah, I got you bugs. You got me a radio.
Good stuff.
So, so the adventure continues. Sarah's trying to get programmed here and learn some new tech stuff. All right, well, let's start out with the bitter end. Last week, Erica and Jeannie were working out, and Pine Springs is getting pretty boxed in by Swenson and Javier, and they're getting backed into their corner. And we dealt a little bit with recovering from, a human trafficking type situation. So, great episode last week. Go check that out if you haven't.
Sarah, on that note, I was traveling this past week or 2 weeks ago, and stopped at a rest stop, and in the restroom there's a human trafficking bulletin up.
Good.
Like beware
with
of
the number.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Thought about the episode we just recorded.
I have all guys in my family, so it's like the guys go to one bathroom and I have to kind of go off on my own.
Yeah.
And, not that I'm fearful or whatnot, but you never know, I don't want to be in that situation. I wouldn't ask for it. So it's nice to have the trailer. I can use the bathroom there instead of having to go put myself at risk there. So, yeah, good place to have it.
Yep.
Alrighty, so for all of my Twitch listeners, again, we're going to discuss some of the current chapters. So if you're listening live and you haven't heard the chapter read yet, go on over to my website, changingearthseries.com, and you can get access to the full audiobook as we go through chapter by chapter. It's $3 to be a member, and you get access to the audiobook of the month as well as the Bitter End audiobook that we're playing with the podcast. So go check that out. If you haven't heard it,
you got the decimal place in the wrong spot?
Right? I know.
$3. That's cheap, sir.
I know. That's what I do because I love educating my community. So any little bit always helps. So we're going to go into some of the current chapters. So if you haven't listened to it yet, plug your ears. All right. So this week we're catching back up with Swenson. And Butch,
he dies.
Yeah, you wish, Chad. Butch, I gave you this chapter to read, so I'm kind of interested. You've never, ever experienced Swenson before, so what's your just gut feeling on this character?
Well, in the short bit of information that I've covered so far on what you provided, I'm not convinced this is the person that I want to be around.
Right.
I'm being nice.
Good answer.
That is a really nice answer. Like that's kind for Swenson talk right there.
It's
Yeah, Chin's always like, when does he die? When does he
write me in as a character so I can kill him.
Let's get him.
And I'm not a violent person.
Yes. What's that? Keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Oh, man.
Right.
And don't drink the water.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd want to keep Swenson all that close. I'd just be very far away from this guy. Yeah. So TJ heads south, and he's, doing it on the down low because he wants to keep everything quiet. He's moving with his beloveds, basically. So, and he gets caught up. They almost get the baby back. So close, but, Dolores is shot in the meantime. But I think that you guys will have to see where that goes. But I think that you should they should have listened to you, Butch, and gone with the satellite phone, because then they could have stayed in a lot better communication with everybody. Although I'm not sure if it would work at that time, you know.
Hard lesson learned.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So, Butch, why don't you go ahead, introduce yourself? Since we don't have much time, I want to just maximize it out. So why don't you go ahead, introduce yourself, introduce your website, your projects. It's great stuff that you're doing for your communities, and then we'll get into your new project.
Again, thanks for having me over. I'm Butch, and I'm from the from Hope for Survival. We've been around for about 3 years, and our goal is to teach individuals personal preparedness, and then branch out individual, family, and community is what we're working on hard right now. And basically, we're trying to train individuals in preparedness, and then they go out in their community and grow their community by planting seeds of preparedness to help one another.
So important.
That is, and then a continuing education. You know, basically, my first 2 books are what I'm teaching out in the field, and that is the mindset. And you have to have the proper mindset in preparedness before you go forward to prepare. And the ultimate goal is a personal insurance policy of self-reliance and preparedness, whether it's you know, the fires that are going on out west, the droughts, the floods, the tornadoes, hurricanes, you know, a crashed economy, whatever it is, wherever you are at, can you self-sustain in your household and also in your community? And that's kind of what we're working towards. And
wait a minute. I thought the government was going to help us out with all that. Yeah, right? Like we can rely on them, right?
You don't live in California anymore, Sarah. Remember? Welcome to America.
FEMA,
you don't have to comment.
FEMA has tried multiple community projects in trying to prepare communities, and they just didn't work. They did not work. Individuals still have the mindset that when they're in dire need, there's going to be someone coming to their property or their door and saying, here's your food and water, and we're here to save you. It's not going to be the case, because it's about critical infrastructure. You know, roads, communications, hospitals, things, utilities, things to get services back running. That's going to be what happens first, and then FEMA only comes to the party bringing what your leadership in your community, your mayor to your governor, what they've identified for the government and FEMA to bring. So, and then they have to get it out to you. And if it's been a major type disaster like Katrina, as one example, it's going to be very difficult for them to get out to where you're at. So why not prepare your own family? It's not a hard choice to make, right? So, you know, we had the books, and we go out and do training in communities.
And where can we find you?
You can find me over at my website at hopeforsurvival.com. We're also doing Thursday Zoom. You know, we do a newsletter. We're doing everything we can to train people. And
are you coming out to prepper camp?
Actually, I am not. I'm not going to be in Saluda. We have been on the road. We've been on the road. This is our first weekend at home. We were on the road 6 straight weekends. Doing training in Georgia, North Carolina, Kentucky.
My chickens would be dead if I was on the road that long.
Yeah, so I mean, it's awesome to get out and try to help people and work on these groups and communities. But like we were talking about offline, you've got to have time as well yourself to work on your own preparedness. You know, when you're already doing 15, 20 hours a day, trying to provide support out to the folks who follow you, but also what about you and your own family, right?
Exactly,
So
it's a juggling act, that's for sure. We're all busy.
So one of the big things that we believe is important is that we teach, and you can find most of this stuff on the website, in the books as well, is a family communication plan, building your PACE plan. If you and your spouse and your children go all separate ways and an event happens during the day, what is your plan of who's going to pick up the kids and where are you going to rally at, right? So, we talk cell phones, we talk texting, you can go on foot, you can email, and all the different means of communicating. But if all that goes down and all you have left is walking miles to your rally point, we added, just since the 1st of September, we became an affiliate for a satellite phone company, because satellite phone is an awesome mechanism, and several of us had already gone forward and bought this particular cell phone and plan when they contacted me and said, hey, would you be willing to be an affiliate? We love the capabilities of the phone. We've tested it in rural areas from multiple states. Most importantly, most people will say, well, how much does it cost, right? So we had been looking for a satellite phone and satellite phone plan for 10 years. And the phones were always multiple $100s. And then a plan on top of that was normally per minute, right?
Oh, geez.
You were talking close to $1,000 roughly or more for something that you may not have to have. So it always got bumped to the back. Well, with this particular plan, this is the same. It's through the satellite phone store out of Florida, and it's the same program and plan that you may have heard Steve Quell, Dave Hodges at the Common Sense Show, Mike Adams, and some of the other guys have been promoting the Inmarsat phone, the Inmarsat 2. So basically, you can go on my website, and I have the links at the top of the page, and you can click on it, and it takes you right to the deal.
Wait, I think there's a typo on the deal. It says $0 for the phone. When I click that link.
That's not an error. That is why it makes it so attractive. You can get the phone for free, right? And the deal that most of us, like I said, 8 or 10 of us from Hope for Survival, we had already bought this plan before there was even us being an affiliate. You get the phone for free, the Inmarsat 2 phone, and all you do is you pay up front about $230, and what you're paying for is the first month and the last month of your 12-month contract and tax. So basically, it works out to where you're paying about $89.95 for 100 minutes per month. They roll over monthly, and then if you renew your contract at the end of the year, all those minutes roll over to the next year. Texting, one text equals 1 minute. I can send text to you at a regular cell phone. I can call your cell phone. I can call your home phone if you have a hardwired phone. So the awesome thing about it is when the cell phone towers goes down, I can still put my sat phone antenna up and link direct to the satellite and make a call out. So like on 911, as long as there was a spot clear out from under all the dust, Katrina, Hurricane Ida recently, areas where the deep freeze, you have deep freezes in the colder regions. Cell towers are down.
What do you mean out from all the dust? Like if it was like a volcano or like a burn situation or something like that?
Yeah, where you cannot get a direct, your antenna needs to get a direct link to the satellite.
Okay.
And it takes seconds. I was in rural West Virginia and we tested it last weekend, and it was just probably less than 30 seconds I had a connection to the satellite, which is off the coast of England, the primary. So, hey, if I can use this thing, anyone can use it. I'm not a techie. So
love it.
It gives you another tool in your communication toolkit. You know, I'm a firm believer. One is none, two is one, and three is better. So you need to have a backup to your backup and route plans and all your resources. So so we went with this option.
So when you're dialing the sat phone, is it just like dialing a typical cell phone? Is it what we're used to doing, or is there a different, like a dial sequence?
It's pretty much the same. It's basically your country code, which is one, right?
Right.
And then
for America,
and then the number, right? So the cool thing is, so all the
folks, we're number one.
Well, don't say it too loud. They don't like us to know that anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can. The nice thing is I can go in and build a text pool of people, and if I see a snowball coming at us and I want to send a text message out to alert everyone, hey, there's a snowball coming, I can send out a group message from my sat phone directly to you.
And does that get counted as one text, or is that?
I would be sending one text.
Even though it's going out to say
everybody.
10 people. Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
And the neat thing, too, is a security feature on it. People often ask me, so what are the hacking risks, right?
Yeah, that's on my list of questions.
Yeah, so, we all have concerns about privacy and so forth. We're all good Americans. We do, we just want to have our freedoms and be left alone for the most part. But
right.
It's hard to trace and spy on a satellite phone, right? Eavesdropping on a satellite phone is virtually impossible because the signal travels vertically towards the sky compared to like a cell phone where the signal travels horizontally towards the cell tower.
Mm-hmm.
And through the transmission, it can be intercepted and decrypted. With the world of technology today and the things that are known and unknown, I would never say it would be impossible. Just to keep that little percentage open there of not knowing what's out there. But if I'm down in a valley somewhere and I fall and break my leg, just in normal times, I'm out hiking or I fall, I get hurt, and I need help, I can
no cell signal.
Yep, yeah. I can flip that antenna up. I can send out a 911 signal. Or I can make a call to someone with my coordinates and let them know where I'm at.
Does the phone have GPS so you could pull coordinates automatically?
Yeah, you can call, you can text, you can do GPS, and you got 911 services. Yeah. So it's most folks are going with the roughly $90, maybe 93 with tax or whatever it is. For the 12-month plan, the phone's free. And when you click on the link, it'll take you right to the 100-minute plan, and it says free phone. You pay the 2 months, the first and last month up front, and then you pay a monthly bill. So you can basically go on there, or you can call, as it says on my website. Make sure you tell them it's the Hope for Survival phone on there. That's kind of the code, if you will, and less than 5 minutes. And most folks are getting, from the date they order, most of the folks are getting their phone in like 3 days.
Wow.
So they're shipping them the day of. So
for now.
Two of our Hope for
I was going to say,
ladies.
they're not having any transistor problems?
No. The problem they're having is running out of phones at the end of each month.
Yeah.
Because there's been, they've been running this deal all year. So they're selling pretty fast, actually.
Okay, I got a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
So I study a lot of the sun activity with the sun ramping up and everything.
It is.
So CME, you put the satellite phone in the Faraday cage or whatever to protect it. Well, no satellites then at that point, unless it was on the opposite side of the Earth. So what's the satellite situation? There's 2 that go around the equator from what I was looking at.
You talking about for the sat phone?
Yeah.
Actually, I think there may be 3.
Okay.
I know 2, but there might be actually a third one. I remember I was looking at a map yesterday.
So technically, if one of the satellites was on like the backside of the planet at the time, it could maybe survive. So it could be a viable option even after like an EMP or attack or a CME from the sun.
I think that we would like to hope so, honestly.
Yeah.
Because how do you?
Well, how intense is it?
How do you test it?
Oh yeah, there's no way.
Right.
Yeah,
actually, Sarah, I think the 2 was right because they're towards the equator.
Yeah, that's what I thought. When I was researching it, I thought it was 2 that went around the equator. I mean, do they both need to be active, or there's just 2 there, so that chances are you're going to pick up one of them?
Yes, that's correct. You're going to pick up.
Yeah. You don't have to like triangulate or something like that. No. You just got to hit one of those satellites.
I've had absolutely the times that I've been out with mine and cut it on, just testing it in different locations. I've had absolutely no problems getting a signal.
Okay.
The reason why you can't do apps on these sat phones, the reason they don't have like an internet connection, they don't provide sufficient data connection to use the internet services. So if you want the internet, you probably would want to get like the satellite internet device. I think it's called BGAN. Explorer, I think is what it's called, BGAN.
Oh, yeah, I see it on there. Yep.
I think I read that on their website.
Okay.
So I personally, if I'm up the creek and my paddle broke, and I have cell and I have sat call and I have sat text and GPS, there's not going to be a whole lot I'm going to be trying to look up on an app. Most likely.
Yeah, and you could have like a storage device for like if you had things that you want to bring with you, books or whatnot, so much digital stuff, information. Yeah, medical. That you could carry just like exactly. You could carry just an external hard drive or something like that, and that's not very difficult.
That's funny you mention that because actually I'm working on a podcast to put on the HFS YouTube channel, specifically on the portable drive and building, I like to call it the family football, which it's basically taking,
nice.
It's like taking everything that's important to you, deeds, titles, pictures, bank accounts, everything you have, making a hard copy of it, and then making it, filing it over on your digital drive so everywhere you go you can take it with you.
Hey,
yeah, you could do you could do sticks for everybody in the family too, so they all had their own.
Yes.
They have a satellite hotspot, so that's cool.
And these guys have been so easy to work with. That's kind of, I'm not a techie type dude, but after I said, I'll be an affiliate for you, because up to this point on the Hope for Survival website, I have not in order to keep it fair and honest and above board, if you will, I haven't promoted anything, advertised anything like that for 3 years.
Other than a couple awesome books.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Actually, Sarah, I need you to message me an address. I'll send you a couple books.
Okay. Yeah.
I just sent a copy of Hope the Mindset to a college buddy who's trying to get the whole family on board.
Nice. I have Chin turned me on to a program though so I can have it read it to me while I'm working.
Actually,
Chin's
cool.
like, here, you need to consume more than I already do. So we figured that one out.
Chin, how was the book? What'd you think?
No, it's good. I mean, it reminded me a lot of sitting in your class, so that was good.
I tried to do that.
But yeah, it was excellent, and I'm glad I got it because it's like a fire hose when we go to these conferences. So the Heritage Life Skills is where I met Butch a couple times, and I really sat down and we got to know each other this last year. So so I'm glad I got it. But I have a good college buddy who's one spouse in, one spouse out kind of scenario.
Yeah.
And I sent him this and a couple other books trying to help ease that path.
2 is 1, 1 is none, right?
Yeah.
It can be tough if you have division under the roof.
Yeah.
Expenditures. What can you buy? You go to the store and you come home with a 50-pound bag of rice and 50-pound bag of beans, and you get that look of, have you lost your mind?
Yeah. And they're good people. I mean, the whole family's a great family, and I just think the world of them. But if everybody's not on board, it's a tough hoe to row.
Absolutely. Even in planning.
Yeah.
You get resistance. So I tell people, what? If you're not getting complete buy-in, plant a seed.
Yep.
And occasionally leave the material laying out where they can read it on their own time.
So maybe and like your mindset, the whole nothing looks crazy about that book, so maybe it'll end up on a coffee table.
Yeah, and a lot of that was based on past experience from a former life, traveling overseas a whole lot, and personal. I mean, I had family that I was shocked, but they actually read the book, and because they're very left leaning, and they said the best part of the book was the examples. After like each chapter, you give like a true story that helps us understand what it is you're trying to get across to us. So, that's good to hear.
Yep.
That's good to hear.
That was one of my key factors behind Day After Disaster was trying to open people's eyes. Like, oh, look, here's just a fun fiction story for you to read. And so many people were like, wow, this could happen tomorrow, and what would I do? And I'm like, welcome. Come on in, have a seat.
And the thing that's important, Sarah, is, I know people that say, well, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm going to move on. But if these are people who are family or they're neighbors, if things turn south fast and really bad, they're still your neighbors.
Right.
Right? So learning them now and finding commonalities that you can agree on and work together on is going to give you more eyes, another mind, hands and legs to help you do tasks.
Yeah, that was one of the scariest things for me because I've always been rural.
Yeah.
And I was talking to, trying to encourage, people in the city, like thinking about where you could grow like communal gardens and things like that.
Yeah.
You could take some of the, if there was some vacant apartments in one of the buildings, you could turn them into hydroponics areas for the building and stuff like that. And this guy was like, yeah, that'd be a great idea, except all my neighbors are crazy. And I'm like, well, what are you going to do then? What do you do then when stuff goes down and you're looking and just going, these people are crazy? Well, now you're just setting yourself up for failure instead of figuring out some way you guys can work together, understanding that there is very big potential for disaster on the horizon right now. And you really need to think about coming together as a community to handle that.
We have left, we have right, and the in between, and then we have some they would categorize as just, as you said, being crazy. But we do have a commonality, and that is when we're hungry, or
we all want to eat,
or when we need clean water.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're not left, right, or crazy, or human.
Yeah.
Right. So we have differences.
I think our cushy world has really taken us away from our communities because you have the ability so much to just live in your own bubble now instead
behind
behind a wall.
And computer keyboard.
Exactly. That you don't need to, go out. So we did the show the other day on Children of the Apocalypse, and one of the comments I got was, just look at any third world country. That's what the children do, and in Honduras and the death rates and things like that was very awe-inspiring to me because I'm an American, right? Yeah. And we are used to just a much different. I think that preparing in general is a very first world problem.
Yeah, because it's a day-to-day way of life. In many of the, I know in Eastern Europe, I spent a lot of time throughout Eastern Europe, and it was a way of life.
Exactly. I mean, look at what's going on in Venezuela and all that. It's in action. That you can just look and case study right there all day long.
Can you imagine the average American not having the way to find toilet paper?
Yeah, no, I know, right? There's mayhem on the streets.
They lose and that's the internet and toilet paper. They're going to be total meltdowns. And I don't mean that derogatory. It's a fact.
It's a fact. It's going to be such a culture shock at that point because we've padded ourselves with this technology and left our planet. And, I don't mean like going into space. I mean, we don't have a relationship with nature anymore to be able to adapt to its changes. And that's a big problem in my book.
Yeah, we are very, very advanced in technology. And there's many places in the world you probably could say the same, but there's still a lot of countries that are just getting into the technology realm. So that'll be easier for them to revert back to the stubby pencil.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're not even teaching kids the stubby pencil in our schools today.
No.
So it's going to be an absolute rude awakening to a first world country.
That's like that. What was it? The Carrington event?
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah.
So back then it was like telegraph, right? Yeah, it wasn't that big deal. And people were used to doing stuff, right, by hand or with, simple machinery and stuff, as opposed to now everything's got a computer chip into it. I mean, you can't freaking buy a smart refrigerator, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that's like five more full shows.
I know, right?
For sure.
2030 for sure. And we're supposed to have a guest coming on this month or early next month to talk about Agenda 2030.
Sarah, you really need to get in on those Zoom meetings. They are incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
I'll just.
Actually,
I'm sure I got time.
Yeah.
To do that.
Let me know when
he really has a good group of people.
Let me know when you have, if you can project out some, but when you can have a Thursday evening, and I'll bring you on as guest.
Thursday evening actually works. This one day I don't train on because I'm training MMA, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then my weekends just are disaster areas. Yeah. So Thursday is actually a really good day for me, believe it or not.
And they have some chat groups and stuff that are outstanding. I mean, I even posed a question and people were getting back to me like in a minute or less. I was getting answers flooding back to me. It's amazing. Awesome. They're good people.
Very cool.
Signal app.
Yep. Yeah.
It's a Hope for Survival Zoom group Signal app. And it's a remnant off of the Thursday night Zoom. Yeah, if you got a question on canning or recipes or medicinal or about anything in the preparedness realm, there's like 50 people plus who are sitting there waiting to read your question.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know it, but the medicinal is actually I grew up country, canning, doing those things. Yeah. That to me was normal. But the medicinal aspect of things, wild foraging and whatnot, that's what really, skyrocketed me into the survival community because I was having health issues and I was like, I used to, work 12-hour days and then work out for 5 hours after that. And I'm not sick because of lack of medication, And so that's why I started getting into, much more natural healing and everything. And then I really got boxed into the survival. You're a survivalist. okay, I guess so, whatever,
So let me ask you this. People look at you kind of strange when you tell them, hey, I'm a prepper, hey, I'm a survivalist. And when we look back in time, our grandparents and great grandparents, they were all living this way.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I know.
Exactly.
So why?
And see, the thing is, people look at me strange anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me about, I'm proud of who I am.
I kind of like it, actually.
Yep, I'm good. I mean, I'm 5 foot nothing, 100 and nothing, all that. So everybody kind of gives me that second glance anyway. So maybe that's what helped me to just be more confident and choose my own path.
Yeah, just try to help who you can, who want to be helped. Mm-hmm. There's some who voice wanting help, but Chin can probably tell you. I do a lot of challenges with the folks that are in HFS. I mean, I try to think ahead to lead them down a path of challenges. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to do this for you.
Yeah.
I will
awaken your mind.
I will help you, right? Mm-hmm. But
I like that.
Like I gave him a challenge at the 1st of August, right? And I said, hey, I want y'all to remember this date, September 13th. It's an important date, right? Between now and then, you need to be really prepared or work on your preparedness. That's all I really said. And they were thinking, the world was going to turn into, the globe was going to turn into a box. And so this past Thursday night, my question was, so we're coming up on September 13th. What have you been doing to prepare? And I just kind of sat there and let some of them tell me, And I said, I told you that date because it was a test. I wanted to see if you're going to continue to spend 10 hours a day watching the news, or are you going to take it as a challenge to dust off your plans and better prepare? Because that's what's going to count.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right? It's going to be between you and what you've completed, not what Washington has or hasn't.
Exactly. That's exactly where I'm at. I haven't been able to really engage in everything because I'm just like, okay. I mean, it's just status quo for somebody who's already living the preparedness realm. It's just one foot in front of the next, and we'll be up the mountain.
Yeah, you can't live in fear.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, that's it in a nutshell. Everyone's like, oh, well, aren't you worried about this or that? And I'm like, I've been in the preparedness world for so long. I've heard so much come and go. It's just, you have an insurance policy on your house, don't you?
Yes.
I mean, you have a spare tire in your car, don't you? Well, I mean, why wouldn't you be prepared in other ways?
Especially when it's what you need you need water and food more than you need that spare tire.
Yeah. Right? Or your house. Yeah. Fair enough.
And you can't drink water, more so drink water than eat.
Then you're done. 3 days.
You're up the creek,
Yeah.
So.
All right. Speaking of water, let's go ahead and get into some of the changing Earth news because I'm going to blow my time schedule here. So let's go ahead and get into some of the news. You can help give me your 2 cents here. All right, quick little changing Earth music intro because we can talk for so long. I knew this was going to happen.
It's awesome, though.
It is. So, Sun News, we have had an extremely active region aimed right at us, just waiting to blast off. And it is now turning the corner, and we didn't get very much CME impact from any of the noise that it could have made. So that was awesome. But there is a big filament on the northern region of the sun that is about ready to burst. So we just have eyes on that. It's turning as well. So hopefully it'll be like 3 or 4 weeks ago, there was a kill shot that came off of the Earth, but it was aimed the opposite way of the Earth. So, I mean, we just escaped that one by narrow
Russian
margins.
roulette.
Yeah, it was legit. So, so with the sun ramping up, we got to keep our eyes there for sure. Okay, on suspicious observers from the 12th, Ben put this picture up of this weird bright light phenomena. They've been talking about it on Weather Channel and stuff like that, and nobody knows what it is. So if you're interested, go check that out. I don't have an explanation either. It kind of looked like an angel over a building or something to me. So I don't know what China's doing, but we won't get into that topic. But yeah, go check that out if you're curious. If I
Are you censoring me, Sarah?
yeah. No talking about that. Okay. Dixie Fire in California. So on the 4th, it was 889,000 acres, and it's now up over 1 million acres. And what number did you have for us, Jen? How many acres have burned in California? Yeah, a lot.
1,968,000 acres.
1.9 million, right?
Yep.
That is insane. So, and California is like not even the size of Spain. So,
and that's for this year. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just 1 year. So way to go. They shut down like 8 firefighting camps there at the beginning of the year. So I'm sure that was a great move, but we won't get into that. Spain is also seeing fires, though. Funny, I mentioned that one, but they're also seeing some fires. They got like 1,000 people evacuated, and they've been seeing them this year pretty prevalently as well. Okay, flooding is the big story of the week. Like, it continues, this crazy flooding, and you're like, yeah, it's a 100-year event, and it's happening just all over the globe randomly, just one after another. So India had a flooding incident. 7 died in Assam. In Mexico got hit time and time again. There was 4 dead in this one. Nepal, they had 380 houses submerged. Eastern China got hit again. And China, like, their rivers have been going crazy this year. I mean, their food supply is going to be way down. Yeah. Have you been watching that over there, Butch? The amount of flooding?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is consecutive years.
Yes, same as the United States. We're like funky grow years for like 3 years in a row now.
There's like 5 countries, 5 leading nations who are competing for global food.
And we all got screwed, basically. Yeah, Brazil on top of it. We were hoping that South America could really suck up the crummy years from China and the United States. So it's going to get interesting, that's for sure. Mexico got hit again. Like I said, they're all over the place. Pakistan got flooded out in areas. Indonesia saw flooding. 15,000 houses submerged from the Katagan and Samba rivers. France had this huge storm. Honduras got one of their major cities got flooded. It was a half hour's worth of rain. A half hour. And it just flooded the whole city from a half hour of rain. It's crazy. Sudan also saw major flooding in the White Nile state. 61,000 people affected there by that. On the tornado activity, we had tornadoes in Nicaragua, which is kind of odd. Yeah. Tunisia saw a tornado. Canada had a severe thunderstorm with tornado activity that went through Midwestern Ontario. Some major winds, damage up there. And then there was these really cool water spouts that happened in Palm Beach, Florida. Google that. They're really neat to see. And I don't know how often that happens down there. I was curious about that one. General sky phenomena, the English Channel, there was a huge meteor that came in there. Really big fireball. There was a newly discovered asteroid, 2020 RS2, that did a flyby of the Earth at just 22,000 kilometers. Spain had an incoming asteroid fireball, and so did Germany. So lots of meteor activity happening as well. Landslides in India again. So India's just been getting hammered with rain, and this was Highway 5 that connects to Punjab. And so that's one of their big, they have those crazy roads in India. Well, they've just been losing them, landslides. And people are getting killed on them and stuff. We had a couple of volcano activity, but the volcano activity, I'm not even going to mention it today because it's actually really far down. It's really decreased, which is interesting. So that's a good thing. But yeah, it's almost like a big calm before the storm, so that can be scary as well. Tropical storm Canson hit the Philippines, and it has just been hanging out there. 2,735 families have been evacuated, 14 dead, 20 injured, and 7 missing right now. Poor Philippines. It seems like they get just slammed every year. Olaf made landfall in the Baja. It brought 100-mile-an-hour winds to Big Sur. Just crazy amounts of rain. And then Mexico, I told you Mexico was all over the news as far as the earth goes. They had a 7.0 earthquake on southwestern side of Mexico. They had 92 aftershocks. One was a 5.2 of just aftershocking from that earthquake. So that's pretty severe stuff. And those pictures were incredible from that earthquake. So, you know me, I'm always wanting to watch the earthquake activity. So,
sure.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chin.
Oh, no, Butch was egging you on with the earthquake stuff.
Oh, okay.
I know better to give you more fuel on that fire.
Yeah. Oh.
She'll go for days.
Especially coming out of California.
Yeah, California.
You know, honestly, I never felt one in California.
Crazy.
I lived up in the foothills. Yeah. Did you feel the one? I think there was one like today. They weren't reporting on it, but it happened in the New Madrid area.
No.
The USGS hasn't been like reporting a lot of the earthquake activity, which is spooky. I don't know why they're not doing that right now. But they're trying to make it look pretty calm.
Yeah.
So
there was one that just came across. I think yesterday came across my alert system.
Yeah.
This is why preparedness is so important. Everything you're reading through around the world, but the things that are happening that are not the norm, right?
Yep.
But that's why I try to encourage people to stop watching Washington D.C.
Mm-hmm.
They need to.
Yeah.
That's why individual preparedness, Sarah and Jen, is so critical, because you don't know tomorrow or today. You don't know if you're going to get flooded in the middle of the night, if you're going to have an earthquake, then what?
Yeah, that city in Honduras, that was a half hour. That's why I found that so amazing. A half hour's worth of rain and the whole city is now flooded, like water cars being just washed away. You just drove up on your motorcycle, went in for a half hour, you come out and your motorcycle's washed away.
Hey, 3 weeks ago, 1 hour south of where I'm at down in North Carolina, they had the flooding down around Caruso, North Carolina. They had over 17 inches of rain.
Yeah.
And then a week after that, outside of Nashville, they had over 24 inches of rain.
Yeah, and our winter is coming,
it's crazy.
right?
Yeah.
Our winter is coming right now. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see if that backflips, because it seems like South America, those southern hemisphere areas have been just getting hit way worse than us. I mean, we're still reporting stuff, and obviously with the fires in California, we've had the hurricanes, some severe flooding, big storms up north. But it'll just be interesting to see once the winter comes around if we're even more inundated. So you're absolutely right. You got to prepare right now. You got to be ready.
Hey,
the earth is changing.
With all these droughts and locations and the floods and all the other acts of Mother Nature, maybe there's something to getting used to eating these veggie burgers, huh?
No, don't even say that. I'd rather raise rabbits, man. I got my chickens. I'll eat eggs. I'm good.
Yeah, I can't do the veggie burger thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or the bean burgers.
Bug burger.
Yeah.
Swenson has a bug burger.
You're gonna eat bugs and you're gonna like it.
Yeah. No, I was told by an old preparedness guy, you better learn to eat the birds or you'll eat what the birds eat. And I was like, oh, well, that makes absolute sense. I'm a hunter anyway. It doesn't,
There's truth to that.
Right? Exactly.
Well, yeah. I mean, so much of our population, I'm not faulting them because it's a system they've been brought up in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but if you can't cook it in the microwave and you can't get it at drive-through, they're gonna
Oh,
starve.
I know.
They're gonna starve to death.
Yeah, I do have to say that's one blessing of living country, because like even in my town in California, we didn't have like fast food. There was like 3 restaurants. You can only eat at them so much, you know.
Yeah.
And then when prices started going up, I'm like, I can make like 3/4 of everything I can buy there way better than they do it, and it's going to be cheaper. So why would I do that? You know. So that is a blessing. I definitely encourage everybody to learn how to cook food for sure.
You might want to take the expedited course on that too.
Yeah, exactly. Or, go stock up on your long-term food supply and, just add water, and then you're getting way too much sodium usually. So you have to bolster that anyway, but that's a whole nother.
Drink lots of water.
Okay. So, but tell everybody where they can find you.
Hey.
And then we're out of here because we're way over.
Because we could chat for hours.
Squirrel. I know.
Thanks again. I could spend hours with you all talking on these great topics.
Yeah, for sure.
It's endless. And thanks for what you all are doing on your end. There's not enough of us trying to help people, those who want to be helped. But I'm over at Hope for Survival, https://www.hopeforsurvival.com. I don't know why. It's sometimes difficult for folks to find the website just going straight Hope for Survival. Anyway, you can find us there. It's our website. Send me an email. Tell me who you are, and I'll send you an information letter email that's got all of our information on it for Zoom, Thursday night Zoom, for the YouTube channel, and what our goals are and what we're trying to do for people. And the books are on the website. Both of them are on there. The proceeds goes to charity. I keep none of the money from the books. And with winter coming up, the shelters are needing lots of food. Holidays and the cold coming up. So it's kind of cyclic. But thanks for having me over. I always enjoy you, and we'll have you over to Hope for Survival Zoom soon.
That'd be great. Yeah, prepared people make prepared communities, and that's all we can hope for. So good job helping to make that happen. So.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity. It's all golden.
Absolutely. And, alrighty. Well, let's get out of here. Thanks, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the show. Like I say, go over and get hooked up, which is doing great things at Hope for Survival, and you really need to check it out. And I'm going to go over there and be part of that community as well, and we'll get that all hooked up. But until next time, remember, dream,
survive,
thrive.